This is the third lesson in the Year 7 Introduction to HTML unit, and today we will look at images and hyperlinks. So what I want us to do is just remember how to write basic web page with a range of different formatting skills using a range of different HTML tags, but then I want to introduce you to how we can insert an image into a web page and also how we can insert a hyperlink into a web page so that we can link to other web pages on the internet. Now, what is HTML? Well, hopefully we know that HTML is a language used to write web pages. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And ultimately what HTML does is it tells the browser how text and images should appear on the screen. So let's have a look at an HTML IDE, Integrated Development Environment, where we can see how some code that we write would display on a page. Now what you can see here is our basic HTML tags that we've used to turn some text into a heading using the heading tags, and turn some text into a paragraph using the paragraph tags. And running this code, you can see what it looks like on the right hand side. Now what we did look at last time was how we could format some text. So for example, I could, in the paragraph tag, add the property align center. Notice the American spelling, and that would align the text to the middle of the page. Other things that I looked at was how we can change the style of the font, the size of the text, and the color of the text. Now in our font tag we could add face equals, and then we could think of a font style, for example Century Gothic. And if I was to wrap my text around or between, I should say, the font tags, if I run that code, you can see that the text has now changed style. But I can add two more properties in here. I could add size, and I could say that I want the size to be 10 pixels, and you can see that the text is larger. And also, using the American spelling of color, I could set a color for this particular text, blue, and you can see that the text has turned blue. Now today I wanted to introduce to you how you can insert an image and also how you can add a link to a different web page or different website. Let's just remove some of the tags that we've had before to tidy up our code so that we can focus on adding an image and adding a hyperlink. Okay, so let's imagine that we wanted to write a web page about planet Earth. Now what I could do is I could change my heading to planet Earth, and I could say in my paragraph tag that this is a web page all about planet Earth. Okay. So let's imagine that I wanted to have a picture of planet Earth. Now to add a picture, what we need to do is we first of all need to use something called an image tag. Now if I open up my image tag by typing in img, I then need to type in src for source. Now source, that means the source of the image, the path to the actual image file. Now what I could do is I could go to Google and I could do an image search. And let's say that I wanted to have this picture here. I could click on that picture. Now if I right click, I could choose copy image address. Now if I copy the image address, that's going to give me the path to where this file is on the internet. Now I could go back to my code, and within speech marks I could say that the source of the code is this web address here, and I could then close that particular image tag. Now if I run my code, you can see that I have now got the text or the heading planet Earth. I've got some text. This web page is all about planet Earth, and down here I've got my image. Now that image is a little bit large. Now the nice thing is that we can actually resize images using two properties that we add to the end of this tag. And notice there's only one tag. We haven't got a closing tag because we're not sort of wrapping it around some text. So one tag is used to add an image, and like I said, we can add some properties to change the size of that image and the properties are width, and I could say 100 pixels, and I could say height equals 100 pixels. Now if I run that code, you can see the picture's much smaller now, and I could play around with these properties to get the size just right. So there we have an image on planet Earth. Now what I could do, if I wanted to, is I could add a bit of space between this paragraph by using a break, and you'll see that that image moves down, and I will put another break in, because underneath what I want to do is now add a link to a web page, which might give me more information about planet Earth. Now to add a link, a hyperlink, we use something called an anchor tag, and we start our anchor tag with the letter A, and then what I need to do is I need to add in the property href, so hyperlink reference, and within the speech marks I need to put in the web address of where I want the link to take me to. Now let's imagine that we wanted to link to the BBC website all about the documentary Planet Earth. Now here we've got the website, BBC website, where we've got a web page all about Planet Earth, the documentary Planet Earth. Now we can copy the link and we can go back to our web page that we are writing, I should say, and inside the speech marks I could then add in the link, which is the website where I want to have the link take me to. Now I can close my bracket, and I could now need to have my closing tag, which is my closing anchor tag. So we've got an opening anchor tag with the property href and then the web address, and then I've got my closing anchor tag. Now at the moment, if I was to run that, you wouldn't see anything. The link is there, but we can't click it because we haven't actually added in our visible link that we can click to take us to that web page. Between our anchor tag, this is where we enter our link. So let's say something like, click me to visit the BBC web page all about Planet Earth. Now if I run that code, you can now see that I've got the text appear and it is now a link. Now if I was to click the link, it should take me to the web page. Now for some reason this particular online development environment won't connect to the BBC website, so let's try something slightly different. There is a property that you can add to an anchor tag which will allow that link to open up in a brand new window. Now if I were to write target equals, and in speech marks put underscore blank, if I was to now try and click that link, it will open up in its own little window. So hopefully now you can see how you can add an image to a web page and also how you can add a hyperlink.